This is Paul for Redneck Sports. I believe that everybody should win in life, or at least attempt to. The first three maxims of General Robert Neyland's game maxims, I believe apply to everybody. The team that makes the fewest mistakes will win. Play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. If at first the game or the breaks go against you, don't let up. Put on more steam. Welcome to the channel. Now let's discuss some sports. Like, subscribe, comment. Show what your opinion is. Let me know if you like what you've seen. And I thank you for your support. Howdy y'all, this is Paul with Redneck Sports. I've got a link tree down below if you want to contact me via my social media or if you want to help me out via Patreon. So, I was listening to Josh Pate the other day. He was talking about the situation with, not this past weekend, but the weekend before last, with the referees and such, and some of their really insane calls. Well, I watched University of Tennessee play Oklahoma. I've watched a few other games. And the referees keep making these crazy calls. But listening to Josh Pate, I found out the reason why. These guys who are expected to do a job which will take them all over the place are not being paid full time. No, they're not full-time employees. They're contract employees that get to play one game a week, and they don't have a chance and all get out to actually get trained. You're told a few things, and then you're sent into the situation. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about why this needs to change. Now let's start with a simple issue that needs to be handled. There needs to be a concerted effort to train all these officials that go out there to watch these games, that they're out there on the field. They need to be trained, needs to be paid training, because we're talking every week when the games aren't happening. They need to be monitoring the videos. They need to watch to see why fans have the feelings that they do about them. Yes, we do not have good feelings about you officials. You guys happen to favor certain teams, and you also happen to make calls even with teams that you favor in a way that is sad to all degrees. And I'm saying that it should be every week that these officials are sitting in an office or at home on their computer on a Zoom call, watching videos and being told, okay, this is what you did right, this is what you did wrong. You do that with football players, you do that with quite a few people, so this needs to be something that is done every hour of 40 hours when the refs are not on the field. They need to be constantly shown where they need to improve, what they're doing right, and this needs to be constant during the football season. And the rest of the year, they need to be reading up on changes. They need to actually, be working on this. Now, here's the thing. I'm sure the NCAA and the conference offices are going to talk about, oh, well, we don't have the money. Bull. NCAA stole money from people for decades. And yes, it was stealing. How much money does the NCAA make? How much were they making off of video games, off of all of this licensing agreements? They control so much about the sports, and they were making bank while doing it. And these kids are getting hurt and never getting to go to school again. This was their only way to go to school. And so the ones that weren't going to go play pro, they knew they weren't going to go play pro. They've lost their education. And yes, that is true. That is what happens to a lot of these kids. Where this money could have gone to making their life better, no, this was going to line the pockets of the NCAA and the conference offices. And then now you have kids getting paid, but these refs are still being out there and they're making bad calls, so they need training, like I just said. Well, if you're going to train them, that means they need to be full time. They need to be doing this full time every week. But the conference offices and the NCAA, both of them are disagreeing as to who's going to set up the rules. And also, they're arguing as to who's going to have them full time. Let me tell you something. I don't care who it is. It needs to become coherent and it needs to be full time. Conferences? Okay. Well, the conferences are ruling how the rules are, and that's why you see different rules being paid attention to in a different way in every single game that you watch on TV. You could be watching a game, and if it's, say, oh, I don't know, let's go with Notre Dame, Northern Illinois. Well, the conference that Northern Illinois is in, if Notre Dame was to play at their stadium, which I know is not going to happen, but you're going to be playing by the rules of the conference that Northern Illinois is in. Notre Dame's rules are going to be completely different than pretty much anybody because when they play football, they're an independent. Or you play, say, Alabama versus Ohio State. If you're playing at Ohio State, it's going to be Big Ten rules. If you're playing at Alabama, it's going to be the SEC rules. Are you beginning to see why this is so silly? Are you beginning to see why either the NCAA or, I don't know, the conferences need to get together and fix this situation? But they're not. But hey. So, we need to pay attention as fans as to what's going on with all these officials. There needs to be a concerted effort to make them coherent in their rulings across the entire sport. They need to be made full-time employees. Now look, I can't stand the NCAA. I think that the NCAA is one of the most crooked organizations that we've had in this nation for decades. They have proven time and time again that they have nothing that they do that is legal. They keep going before the courts and being smacked down because it's that bad. But the NCAA is supposed to be the one stepping up and doing this. They're not, but hey, they're supposed to. Instead, they make idiotic rules. They keep changing rules. And it's getting to the point that it's making the common fan get annoyed. And it's made people like me, who's followed the sport as hard and heavy as I have for the decades that I've been on this earth, even more angry. So, I'm coming to you as fellow fans and going, hey, this is what's the problem. Here's some of my solutions. What do you think? And are you going to help me get changes made? This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. Thank you for watching this video. I've had some fairly good success with all of my Redneck Sports stuff. And I hope you enjoyed the topic. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, all that rigmarole. And also, just let me know what you want to hear about. I'll give a redneck spin to this stuff. Let me tell you, I love sports. So, I love people that want to join me in that. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.